In this video, I talk about my 2021 strategy for buying Pokemon cards. Let's go. Hello collectors, and welcome to Geeked Out Collecting, where we take finance and investing principles and apply it to our favorite hobby sectors like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, comic books, Fortnite cards, you name it. We apply those principles to them all. In this video, what I wanted to talk about today is my personal Pokemon buying strategy for the year 2021. So to give you a general gist of my Pokemon strategy for 2021, really what it comes down to is I'm buying minty or near mint raw cards with low PSA 8, 9, 10 populations. And what I do is I buy them in the event in the future that I will get them graded. And I pretty much have 3 reasons why I do that, or I have decided to do that. The first reason is this is kind of a way to kind of buy graded cards at a quote unquote deal. So right now, I feel what we're seeing is the new floor for Pokemon cards. So I don't think things are going to get much cheaper than they already are. So it's going to be really, really hard to find deals on things, especially if you have lower budgets. You're going to be priced out of a lot of graded cards. The first ones that I can think of are PSA 10, base set, first edition, shadowless, or unlimited. So a lot of those cards you're just completely priced out of right now if you try to get the pristine, the gem mint versions of those cards. So my way of buying minty cards and then eventually in the future getting them graded is one way for me to kind of acquire more graded product at a little bit more of a deal, since when you buy the card graded, you're buying it for a lot less than you would. Now, of course, just a quick disclosure right here. I'm going to go through some caveats with this strategy because, there's just a lot of things that you want to know on top of that it comes with some cons and some things that you kind of want to be aware of. So I'll get into those nitty-gritty details later on in this video. But the first reason why I'm doing it, like I said before, is to quote unquote kind of get a deal. You're really not going to get a deal for anything graded right now. It's going to be really hard, and it's only going to get more expensive over time is what we're seeing and what the market is showing us. So that's just one reason why I'm deciding to go with this strategy. So the second reason why I'm doing this is because of the great ROI that comes from doing stuff like this, getting raw cards that you think will grade pretty well, then getting them graded, and then seeing how much they're worth once they are in fact graded. Since one day I want to be a Pokemillionaire, I don't want to spend $1 million getting there. Instead, what I want to do is I want to spend something like $250,000, $500,000, and then hope that over time it'll grow into $1 million. So honestly, I don't even want to spend that much because I'm definitely not made of money in that way. I don't have access to that kind of money. So it'll take a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of discipline for me to grow my collection to that point. But that is my goal. So since that is my goal, I need to be smart about my strategy and my buying with cards right now. So the lower my buy-in, of course, per card, the greater my ROI would be. So the quicker I can become a Pokemillionaire and get to that millionaires with Pokemon cards. So that's just the second main reason why I am buying cards like I am right now. And the third reason is just it's fucking fun. I really like it. I like the idea of going in and finding, odd auctions or funky listings where I can find cards that are in really, really good condition that maybe not many people are noticing in the market. So I try to find those things, and I love getting cards graded. I love coming back and seeing how much ROI I actually do get from getting a card graded. It's really, really fun. Getting into some of those caveats that I alluded to earlier is the fact that this is a much more advanced, in my opinion, strategy of investing and collecting Pokemon cards. Just because you need to have, or you need to feel confident in your collecting skills. You need to be able to kind of tell, okay, this card I think could be graded a PSA 9, PSA 10, or, I think this card is near mint. So you have to be good at spotting those things, because if not, you could potentially be overpaying on cards that are not as in good of a condition as you thought they were. So there also is a little bit of risk too, right? So what you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you select a strategy or pick a strategy that fits your needs and essentially your skill set. So are you able to emotionally detach yourself and make decisions based on logic and numbers rather than FOMO? That's one great, I guess, soft skill that you kind of need to have in order to deploy a strategy like this. So by no means is this strategy good for everyone. It really depends. I would definitely say that it's more advanced. So if you're newer to the hobby, this is not something that I would probably suggest that you do, but this is something that I feel comfortable in doing and that I'm willing to take a little bit more risk to do. So to wrap things up, this is my strategy for buying Pokemon cards in 2021. Of course, like I was saying, the strategy isn't for everyone, and you have to take into account your goals and objectives and your level of skill. Now, if you're trying to find a strategy that works for you, I want you to think about two things essentially as you're trying to develop your buying strategy. The first thing that I want you to consider is what you're trying to accomplish with buying cards. Are you doing this for the long term? Are you doing this for the short term? Are you just trying to collect things that you really like and you don't care about those things? Those motivations are going to affect and influence the strategy that you deploy. So I think that's something that you should think about as you're going through 2021 and buying Pokemon cards. If you don't have a goal and you want to set a goal, I would suggest setting one and going from there. The second thing that you want to consider as well is your budget. How much can you or are you willing to spend on cards? You don't want to spend money that you need for bills. So what I would say is, what kind of money or what amount of money are you willing to spend each month that you're okay with quote unquote losing? Now, technically, if you're of the mindset that if you buy cards that you like, you don't ever actually lose. Technically, anything that you put towards Pokemon, you can't lose because you're buying things that you like. So it's kind of a win-win situation all around. But you do want to consider budget if you do have a specific goal. Like for myself, I want to be a Pokemillionaire, so I've got to be smart with what I buy. Of course, I'm buying things that I like and I enjoy, so it's okay and it's fine and it's fun. But what I'm also do is, on top of that, is to be a little bit more strategic with the things that I do buy and narrow in on certain segments of the market with low populations in the near mint or in the minty PSA grades or BGS grades. And by no means, like I said, do I have access to infinite funds. I can definitely tell you that. Because of the fact that I don't have access to infinite funds is probably why I'm trying to be even more smart with what I buy and what I invest in. And of course, you can't win on all of them. You live and you learn. I think if anything, you just learn every single time and you are able to modify and adjust your strategy accordingly with what you do learn. So if the market does kind of punch you in the face because you made a wrong move, that's just a lesson learned, really. And the other thing too, especially with the particular strategy that I'm using, this isn't a strategy where I'm going in and buying literally the most valuable cards out there. If anything, what I'm doing is I'm trying to find the pockets in the market where there's a ton of arbitrage. So what that means is that, and it's really not a sexy strategy at all, because you're not buying the crazy holos, the really, really cool looking holos. What I'm doing is just I'm buying a lot of lower end cards that are in minty or minty-ish conditions and then grading them. So it's not even that sexy, but I'm just rinse and repeating that same thing, just finding more cards, finding more cards, finding more cards. So because again, I don't want to spend $1 million to become a Pokemillionaire. I don't have anywhere near that money. But if I can, get ROIs of 50%, 100%, or even higher, that is where I can actually get into those higher numbers. But again, it's going to take me a long time and it's fun for me. So even though there's a big time commitment, it's really not a burden to me. It's really fun. It's obviously a hobby. So this is what I enjoy. This is what I have fun doing, and I'm okay with the goals that I have. I'm okay with the strategy that I'm deploying right now, and I'm having fun along the way. Anyways, guys, if you're thinking about your goals for collecting, think about your budget and build a strategy around that. So let me know below what your strategy is and what's working for you, and we can all learn. So thank you for watching and have a good one.